Welcome to this video series. I am going to show you how to make a posable action figure or doll. This one is about 12 inches tall. This one is about a little over 3.5 inches. Both of them use approximately the same approach, but obviously this one has a lot more detail. So first I'll show you how to make the small one, and then I'll have another series showing you how to make a larger one. So I wanted to show you the materials that you'll need in order to create a figure this size. So the first thing that you will need is some jewelry wire. And I like to get a couple of different thicknesses, one that's a little bit on the thicker side and one that's a little bit thinner, and I usually get them in different colors so I can, tell immediately which one is the thinner wire. To go with that, you'll also want some needle nose pliers that also have a little cutting edge, so they're also wire cutters. And you want the needle nose pliers because that will help you to bend the wire as you need to. You also want to have some of this self-adhesive first aid tape. This is the main material that you kind of flesh out the figure this size. The little hands are really more like mittens, and these are made entirely with self-adhesive bandaging. And you can get this that is latex free, you just have to look for it. And her clothes are also made with the self-adhesive bandage, and then her pants have been painted on. So you want to get this, and I like to get it in this kind of beige, because if you want to go a little bit darker, then you can just thin down some acrylic paint and paint over it, and it creates kind of a nice texture, but you have that undercoat of this somewhat flesh tone. You might want to go a little bit lighter, you might want to go a little bit darker, but you have that base coat, so it's a little bit easier than starting out with like stark white or purple or something like this color, which is fantastic to use as well for the clothes. This is a way to create clothes where you don't have to sew anything, and so you can purchase this in different colors, neon colors, various jewel tones, and I'll show you how to create a little outfit using just this. This is also handy. You might or might not use this. This is called pre-wrap, and it's like really super thin. You can actually see through it. Foam. And this is nice to kind of build up areas of the figure that will be a little bit fuller. You're also going to want a nice pair of scissors. For the hair, you'll want just some embroidery thread. You could use yarn or some other kinds of fibers, like just raw wool or something like that. This is probably the most available though. In this figure I used both yellow and blue embroidery thread, and then the face was sculpted in air dry clay. It was actually paper clay, which I'll show you in a moment. But you could use Fimo or Sculpey or another polymer clay, or you could use another brand of air dry clay as well. The air dry clay is air dry, and so you have to work fairly quickly, and then you can paint in the details. And here are a couple of brands of air dry clay. This doll was made using the paper clay, and once you open one of these it will dry out, and so you want to get one of these zipper seal bags and put your leftover clay in here, and I actually run my hand under water, then just spritz water in there every week or so until I've finished using it to keep it soft. It's handy to have some clay working tools, but honestly I just used a toothpick for her face, and it was a little bit rough in certain places, so that would be a little bit smoother with these. but it isn't absolutely critical that you have, all of this extra equipment. Then you're also going to want some acrylic paint and brushes. It doesn't matter what brand. These are kind of liquidy, and you want them in a variety of colors that can help you to paint the face and make the skin tone more detailed of what you want. Like I said, I actually painted on the pants while I sculpted the shirt. Later on, I'll also show you how to make the wig with the embroidery thread. And you can use the same approach whether you are creating the wig with yarn or with raw wool or another kind of fiber like alpaca or flax or whatever you want to use.